Alrighty, hey traders, John Howell here. So today, what I want to do is I want to make sure my microphone is good for you guys. I want to just share some things with you when it comes to the big picture analysis and some markets that I'm really focusing on myself that have the potential of making really big moves. See, the way that I personally like to trade, I like to identify really good opportunities that I can be in and hold the move, be in that position for a month, 2 months, and when applying a bit of leverage, we can start to really supercharge our gains there. I'm very big in the options side of things, so I love trading options. And I've talked why about trading options. Now, I love buying options, not selling options or spreads or iron condors, all that sort of stuff. I don't like to do myself. I just simply like to buy options. Why? Because one, I know my maximum risk in the markets, meaning I'm just buying the option, therefore I only can lose 100% of the option. And also that because I only can lose 100% in the markets, right? I then on the upside can start to generate some really good returns. So I give you an example of some trades that I did recently. The reason why I love trading options, and I give you an example of why I love trading the options around this. A few trades that I did recently. One of my best trades that I've done this year so far was a trade on Groupon, right? And I'm going to get to I'm just trying to share with you the mindset of what we should be focusing on throughout the year, or should I say, the mindset of how I do it, how I do things anyway. And hopefully, this can sort of help you and coach you down the right path. So if I look at GRPN, right, one of the things that I'm always looking to do is I'm not an active trader myself. I don't trade a lot, right? So that first link in the description there, I actually teach you on that webinar. I teach you all the details to my trading system, all right? And there's also a free trading course in the link in the description as well too. But the big thing I really want to share with you is especially in this environment right now, how do we really make some big movements in the markets throughout the year? And the truth is that majority of the time, you're going to be saying no. And that's always hard, right? Saying no to not getting into the market. Saying no, I'm not getting in today. But one thing I'm always trying to do, I don't always get it right, but one thing I'm always trying to do is I'm trying to do what Groupon did for me, right? I'll give you an example here. So when I'm trading options, right, and I'll give you an example of Groupon here, right? So Groupon here was a really big move, and I end up making 300% return. Right, so 300% return, and I'm gonna get to some other things, but I really wanted to sort of coach you guys down. One of the things that's really helped me stay positive most years, or stay positive many years in a row now. But that's 300% return there. But think about this here for a minute, okay? Think about this here for a minute. If I have, and I'll use a lower number here, but if I have a $100,000 trading account, okay? And on this here, I was happy to put on 20%, which is a $20,000 position. Now, just bear with me here for a minute, okay? On a big loss for me, right? I'd be risking 50,000. I'd be risking 50% of that. So I'm buying options, okay? On a big loss, I'll be risking 50%. On an average loss, it's 20 to 30%. So let's just say the average loss is 30%. That is what? That's a $6,000 average risk that I'll be putting, which is what? A 6% risk on the account. Now that may be too much for you, all right? Just drop it down even more, right? But I'm trying to share with you the mindset of what I'd like to do throughout the year to make sure at the end of December this year, I can look back and say, wow, I did really well this year, right? This is how I've become part of the top 1% of traders. And the top 1% of traders, when you think about this, the 95% of traders out there lose money, okay? The top 5%, out of the top 5%, the 4% are just breaking even. 1% are consistently making good money, are making a good return year after year after year, right? That's where I'm at. Now, when it comes down to the 0.01%, right? That's where they continuously and easily make millions of dollars a year from their trading opportunities, right? Millions and millions and millions of dollars. So how I've become part of the top 1% of traders out there that do really well every year is I'm trying to show you the mindset of how I approach my 12-month, how I approach my 12-month in the markets here. And so I'm giving you an example here of why I like trading options, right? So if I know that I'm getting in here, and a big loss would be, a big loss would be 50%, average loss would be say 30%, somewhere around about there. So I'm risking maybe 6% here. But here's the thing here, right? Here's the thing. This 20% here, call it $20,000, right? Gave me a 300% return on this trade here. And this was over the space of about 1 month or more, just over 1 month. Right, so what is that? That is what? That is a $60,000 profit, right? Utilizing these numbers here. With me so far? So with that $60,000 profit, as you can see, just one really good trade can really shift it in the positive direction for you. And I've always found that this is how trading works. But also, how it really helps me have good years is how much of a percent of that has my account grown now. It's grown what? By 60%. See that through there? Now, how much risk did I take? I grew my account by 60% by taking 6%, maybe on the maximum, a 10% risk. Now, a maximum, I say that's a maximum is a big loss for me. If I have a big loss, it's normally around 50%. Due to the fact of the options that I pick, and how much time I buy with the options. But the most important part is not the options, right? The most important part is getting into a good trade in the first place. So I'm trying to share with you a big sort of 10,000 foot view of what sort of helped me. I used to be the intraday trader, right? Trying to trade a lot throughout the year. Now, how does this all work? All this works because I really know how to identify a good setup in the first place. And then I know how to manage that properly, right? So that's where it's coming. And the reason why I'm doing this here is because so many traders are looking to trade every day in the markets, and that just simply doesn't work. What's helped me is by doing stuff like this, right? And Groupon, and I also had another trade that did on Platinum here. And Platinum was a 250% return on the trade. So I'm trying to show you here because I'm going to go through my losing trades, right? I'm going to go through my periods of things not working out. And I need to make sure that when I'm on these winning, when things are really kicking in again, I'm jumping on some big moves, I capitalize on that, right? Because if I go through a month or two of slowing down and things not working, things just there's no big moves happening. I want to make sure that at the end, my job is at the end of the year, I'll look back and say I've had an amazing year, right? And that also requires, now since I've done this one here, I also had, and then this one here, I had this one here. This did 300% return. And then also Platinum here. This is a Platinum trade here. I'm out now. They did 250% return. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up to you is because now I'm actually on the sidelines. Now, when it comes to the stock market and individual trades, I'm now on the sidelines. I actually had a quiet few months prior to this, and then bam, out of nowhere, some really big trades came, and now I'm on the sidelines again. And so I hope you can see that these are some things we need to be working on when trading, is understanding the ebbs and flows throughout the year. It's one of the biggest mistakes I'm finding most traders make is they think a trading income is like a job income, and it's not the case. But you can do so far better over a 12-month period than you can just normally looking at. So if you look at your annual income, say for a $60,000 or $70,000 a year income, right, cool. Well, as you can see, right, just a handful of trades throughout the year. Now you need to know what to look for, and that's where your work becomes, right? Like, okay, how do I identify these setups in the first place? And so that's where the work. But I'm trying to give you a 10,000 foot view of how we should be approaching, or how I approach my trading anyway, and what helps me stay on the positive foot throughout the year. I don't always get it right, and I have my losing trades as well too. But I want to make sure that come December, even if I've had a horrible year and I've only been 50-50 right, 50% of my trades have sucked and 50% of my trades have been good profits. Even if that's the case, if I can start to generate returns like this here, 250% return, right, on the option, and then 300% return, right? But then what am I doing? Then that's 250% return, right? On the option there. Well, what if my next trade's a loss? Remember I said before the average loss is around 20 to 30%. So now I've only lost 30%, right? I can then lose another 30%. But I've just made 300% return. I've just made 250% return. I'm now up over 500% return if I was trading the same amount of money, 500%. If I go have another loss now, I'm only down 30%. I've only eked out a little bit of my profit. And then if I have another losing trade, I've just eked out a little more profit. If I have another losing trade, I've eked out just a little bit more profit. And the next trade, boom, back in profit, big move, might be up 100%, 200%, and boom, away we go again. And so this is the way that I personally have found to make sure that every year I'm having a successful year. Every year I can stay part of the 1% and not slip there. Now, how I make sure that I don't slip is being okay with not taking a trade. Right now, it's been a couple of weeks now since I've actually been out of the markets when it comes to the stock market, that is anyway. And for me personally, it's just been okay sitting on the sidelines. It's just not worth me getting into just maybe trades or like, I hope. Now there's a lot of things that are setting up for me. And again, the first thing in the description there, guys, I teach you on the webinar, I teach you the system that I use to find these trades, right? Now there's a lot of things that are setting up for me. All I need now is my proper entry candle because I have my setup and then I have my entry candle to tell me now's the day to get involved. That's why I love trading the way that I do, because there's no gray area. A lot of traders, when they're trading in a way where they're like, should I be in now? Should I be out now? That's a lot of gray area. I can't be successful off that. I need to have something which is called a setup, saying, okay, there could be a trade coming up soon. It's setting up. It's basically a pattern, right? And then I need something on the chart to tell me black and white, today's the day I need to be entering. Today's the day is the day I get involved. There is no maybe, I'm not sure. It's like, no. And that's the reason why, again, I teach you, I'm not going to go into detail here. I'm trying to give you a different thing here, but I'm trying to share with you all around what's really helped me get into the 1% of traders and what I'm utilizing now to get into the 0.01%, right? Where they continuously make millions of dollars a year, every single year. That's where my mentor is, right? And so I'm now part of the 1%. I'm really grateful for that. It's not from an ego point of view. I'm just saying that I'm trying to share with you when I started changing my thinking to like intraday trading, I then started switching it to more trading like this. And this is the one thing that really helped me out when it comes to my own personal trading. And plus this gave me much less stress as well too, because it only takes me about maybe half an hour, maybe an hour per day to look at the markets, to run the scans, to see what's happening, to manage my positions. And then, so I end up making more money throughout the year, but I end up having more freedom as well too, because I'm only looking at the market maybe an hour, maybe a couple of hours a day if I want to, but I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's really only a couple hours a day if I want to manually go through some stocks, and so on and so forth. So I really just wanted to share that with you. So on the back of what I just said there, I'm always looking through the pockets of opportunity, and I'm happy being out of the market for a couple of months. Now, I'm happy not being in a trade and sitting on my hands and waiting for the next opportunity to come. Because if it takes me another 2 months to find another platinum trade or another Groupon trade, would it be worth it? The answer is yes, right? If I had to wait 60 days now, if I had to wait another 2 months for another Groupon trade that may be 300% return, right? You start to see how you can do quite well throughout the year, right? And that's the mentality that I have. That's actually this is the mentality that's really helped me, is not trading a lot, but waiting for these opportunities, but scanning the markets and looking for things. So the big things that I'm seeing right now, on the back of what I just said there, markets like, for example, silver market. Okay, so this is the silver market here, and the silver market has the potential, right? Has the potential. Let me actually see if I can bring this up to here. Right, so the silver market here has the potential of making a really nice move soon. Is that it there? Let's go to... Is it doing it? Okay, cool. Yeah, so it has the potential of making a really nice move out of the silver market. Right? You can see where the silver is right now. So I'm looking for how do I get in on these positions that can make a nice move. I'm not looking for a small profit. Small profits don't equal big profits at the end of the day. We need a portion of our years where we're like, wow, look at that. We had a really big growth those 2 months. And that's how you end up seeing big spikes in the equity curve that I've found anyway. And so just by looking at this level here, if I go to this section here, and if my software loads up here, okay, my software is, there we go, cool. All right, so we can see this through here. You can see what's happening here on the overall weekly charts through here. We have indeed made sure that we have indeed actually broken up through here. So silver's one of those markets, right? Silver's one of those markets that I see having really big moves that comes real soon. The other market that I do see that is likely to make big moves, there's actually a few different markets. So that's one that I'm seeing. Now again, I don't need many trades. If I can just get 5 to 10 of these trades per year, I'm gonna make a lot of money. You see what I'm saying here, right? Like, and again, so I'm always scanning the market looking for when that next opportunity comes. And it doesn't matter. I'm platinum, now it's silver, there's a few individual stocks, actually there's a basket of individual stocks that I'm watching for that could be setting up for me. Again, but it's based off my system, right? Not based off my thought. The system says when this setup appears, then it can be quite nice in the market. So the next one here is uranium. Uranium has actually just started to break out. So if I can now it's actually broken out of this long-term base through here, it tells me we're starting a new trend. Now, over the next couple of weeks, maybe next month or more, if I can get a really good trade off this could be my next 2, 3, 4, 500% return. Like you just never know. Like one of my most successful trades was a 1,200% return over the course of I said that. 1,200% return, and that's my most successful trade ever, and that was a few years ago now, and that lasted over 2 months. That's like taking 10% of your account or a $10,000 position and making 120 grand over the course of 2 months. But that's my mentality. I'm looking for those opportunities, right? Now I don't know, you never know which one's definitely gonna, but I'm looking for the best opportunities. So for example, uranium is for me is now started to break out. This is now giving me the clue that I need to keep an eye on this one, because if I get my trading set up over the course of the next couple of months, it could be a really big mover, and that's what I want, right? I want to be in a situation where if I've had a horrible year and I've had a 50-50 win-loss ratio, which I don't, most of my trades are good trades, but if I've had a horrible year and I've only had a 50-50 win-loss ratio, I still want to be able to kick some serious butt by doing that. But again, my success rate is very, very high because I'm very disciplined about the trades that I take, right? So uranium is another one. Silver is one through here. Even the energy sector, if I look at the XLE. So, another one here is Ethereum, right? So this is Ethereum. And this one here, which is the ETHE, which is the Ethereum, Grayscale Ethereum Trust, if we start to break up above this level here, then this could be getting ready for another big move up to here, right? So again, it's about seeing these things that are setting up. So that's another one. Another market here is USO. This USO market I've been keeping an eye on for quite some time because we've just been doing nothing here. And one thing you'll find, one of my most powerful patterns I can utilize when looking at this level here is when the market's done nothing for quite some time, sometimes, 1, 2, 3 years, when we do start to break out, we're at the beginning stages of a nice big trend, either up or down. And so I'm seeing that through here, right? If I go to my platinum trade, right? So if I show you my platinum trade, why did my platinum trade work out so well? See, look at this here. Because see all this level through here? So whenever we do that, when my number one trading pattern that I look for, that's telling me something's setting up soon, is we've done nothing for sometimes many years. And then when we do break, we end up getting a bit of an explosion, right? GRPN also did the same thing, right? If I bring this up to here, you can see this was over the course of, maybe a year or two, or maybe even about, wrong one. So maybe even about 2 years worth of here. You see that through there? So, and then what happened? Big move. So I know in the back of my mind that whenever we get these long extended period of sideways movements, that we end up getting big moves. Again, remember, I don't need a lot of trades, guys. You don't need a lot of trades. What I need just a handful of trades that's likely to make a big move. So instead of trying to take 100 trades this year and looking for a small profit, why don't we try to take maybe 10 or 20 trades and look to capture a big move, right? And that could be the space of, and that's the reason why I like trading the daily charts, because it allows me to look at that sort of stuff there. But it does take time, right? It's not easy, right? It does take time, but I'm trying to give you a 10,000 foot view. Now your job is to start the line. Again, I teach you in my webinar, first link in the description, or just make sure you've got some good setups that you know exactly what to look for that's likely to make a big move. I do, and I'm trying to share with you some of the stuff here, right? So USO is another one that could be setting up real soon from here. I talked about uranium and the XLE market. The XLE market is also potentially setting up as well too. If I bring up my big long-term, this is my weekly charts here, and if I actually bring up, is it this one here? Which one is it? This one here, right? This is my big long-term monthly charts. So what am I seeing through here, right? It's the same. It's the same thing. My number one trading pattern is I'm looking for something I'm looking for a market that hasn't been doing anything for a few years. Why? Why is that important? Because I know when it starts to break, we're likely to be at the early stages of a good bull market. See the differences there, right? A lot of traders wait for the bull market to happen and then they get involved with it. And this is something that I saw when it comes to the gold market, right? If I go to the gold market and I bring this up to here for you guys, you'll be able to see that once again, gold had a very, very, very big move to the upside right here, right? So we had many years of sideways movement, and when I was looking at gold, when I was getting into gold is right here for trading opportunities, because I knew, guess what? The reason why this is so powerful, because when we've done nothing for a few years, we've done no trend, nothing. Once we start to break out, there's a high probability we're starting a brand new bull trend, and the bull trend goes up and down, and we end up having a big move over the course of this one here was a lot longer from there. Make sense? So this is what we're actually looking for. This is what I'm looking for these other markets out here, guys. There's so many different markets out there that you can trade. And here's just a handful of things that I'm looking for right now. And hopefully some things that I've walked you through today gives you a bit of an idea about, okay, how should I be thinking about this? Okay. Now, the thing for me is what changed me from losing money all the time to start switching it is I had to start to be honest with myself. So, okay, then how do I need to start trading in order for me to actually start making money, right? Because we need to do something in order to get results, right? Not what we want to do. What we want to do, it may not get the results, but what we need to do. And so I'm trying to share with you a lot of things that's coming across my plate anyway, of things that's really helped me. And this is how I personally do the best I can to make sure I stay part of the 1% throughout the trading community when it comes to my trading results. It doesn't mean I don't have bad months, and it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have very quiet periods. I do. But every year I want to look back and say, amazing, you had another amazing year. You had some slow periods through there. You even had some losses in there as well too. But through the mentality of what I talked about here, this is where we can start to have consecutive successful years. And not just based off luck, but based off the system, because the system works. If we can just follow that, then it starts to do really well from there. Hey traders, just a quick heads up. I'm actually giving away free access to my Mastery Trading course for a limited time. If you go to johnspeedgift.com, or there should be the first link in the description. The fact is that 80 to 90% of the stuff that you learn or you use on these trading platforms is a complete waste of time. And only about 5 to 10% of the stuff that you actually learn and use is going to move the needle in the positive direction for you. And that's over the last 20 years, I've put everything that has helped me move the needle in the positive direction in this here, and I've left everything else out. So go to johnspeedgift.com right now and grab complete free access to this Mastery Trading course.